Thanks for making these stories so much fun for all of you, no matter where you are in the world. Friday is the second to last day of the month, and the crypto markets have dropped a lot in the last few hours. If you read my last market analysis report carefully, you'll remember that we talked about this. If you look at the whole market, many assets have dropped by more than 10%, but XRP is still doing much better than the benchmark. This is something that 99.9% of people miss. Many coins are down more than 10%, but XRP is only down 4%, 5%. The price of XRP is $2.18, which is 2.6% less than yesterday. Bitcoin is worth $128 billion, and about $3 bill, 300 million is traded every 24 hours. But before we go any further, I want to make it clear that nothing on this channel is meant to be taken as financial advice. If you want to invest in crypto, you should always be careful and do your own research. First, we'll look at this sharp link game that aims to raise an amazing $1 billion to buy Ethereum. There's big news coming up, so I want to share this with you guys because, well, people forget. When things are going badly, you should know that Bitcoin exchange funds just hit a new all-time low. Bitcoin keeps falling off of controlled platforms, which is a sign that whales are stockpiling for the long term. This is good news for institutions and governments that want non-custodial storage methods. In other words, it basically shows that more and more long-term growth is happening. And I want to tell you guys something: if you want to stay in the crypto space for a long time, whether you hold XRP or something else, you should get a hardware wallet and move your coins off of an exchange. I don't care which exchange it is, I can't trust it in the long term. If I'm only going to make one trade, I might just move my money to the exchange, make the trade, and then take all of my coins off of these sites. This is why we need to get rid of controlled systems, but it also shows how things are coming together. Right now, a Bitcoin is worth an unbelievable $15,000. This means that most people around the world can't afford one. If someone can spend $105,000 on a Bitcoin, there must be a very small number of people who are interested in shopping. That tells you how much VTC costs. Over the long term, Bitcoin is seen as an asset class that everyone is behind. Demand is higher than supply, so it gets harder to mine Bitcoin as more of it is made. This changes the rules of the game, and look at there are currently 310.5 million Rust and backup funds in circulation, which is 30 billion, 33 million zero plus. As I already said, there's the mining part. Jeremiah says that Bitcoin mining is now turning into a global arms race. Right now, the US has 36% of the total hash rate, making it the leader. You can see this for yourself, but it's clear that a lot of people around the world are behind Bitcoin and are moving quickly to get it in order to get a piece of the pie. People know how limited it is in terms of value. It's the fifth biggest asset in the world. Wow, that's so much bigger than people thought it would be 5 years ago. You already know it's called digital gold, and gold is still worth about $10 to $11 next in terms of value. That means Bitcoin would have to go through crazy prices to reach those levels, but I'm not giving up on it at all, and I do think Bitcoin has the potential to get there. Now, don't forget that Ripple is building the new Wall Street, and the first step is to buy secret roads. The Ripple post is a strong sign that Wall Street is going to on-chain banking, and XRP is the leader in this movement. We already know that the XRPO record is that one place where everything is kept. It will also get the attention of more institutions, and as tokenization becomes more popular, bigger companies will want to use it, turn their money into tokens, as Chad said. This will change the way you do everyday banking. Tokenization is what makes that game different. It changes how we handle money. The XRP ledger is that one-stop shop is very interesting. It helps us see where the real promise is for XRP. If you really understand what an XRP ledger is and how XRP is treated as a native token, you'll see the promise that gets people excited. But according to Knowledge Tree, XRP is the only other cryptocurrency that can beat Bitcoin. Who is this message for? It's not you or people who use crypto. It's for big investors, businesses, governments, and companies that want to get into the crypto space. Because XRP and Solana futures are the two digital assets that are filing the most ETFs, they will be able to be traded 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Why do you think these entities and asset managers are filing? They are interested in these two assets because they know they have a lot of potential. Trading them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week would definitely change the game because there would be more demand and more hype. At XRP Las Vegas, a lot of great XRP ledger projects pitched. What struck me most about them was how clearly they laid out their plans to go to market and how well they knew about new and current XR features. like smart escrows and payment channels. Hey guys, that's really cool stuff. But let's see what's going on with the, as you can see, the price of power is going up and it looks really strong right now. It's at 64,220. If you look at Bitcoin, it did fall below 15,000. It reached 13,800 in the end. So it's clear that there is still a lot of support in this area. But if this support doesn't hold, I told you guys in my last update that $12,000 Bitcoin is still an option, and I still think that's possible. Of course, I'd love for BTC to close above 110, which would be a 5.13. Even though it's almost the weekend, I'm still not over it. For some reason, Friday and Saturday are better for cheating, because CME futures are closed and trade talks are open. It's not just the duties that are having an effect. It's also the end of the month light. This is where the whales or bulls and bears fight it out. If the price of Bitcoin closes above 110 on the monthly candle, it will be a very interesting month. But in the big picture, Bitcoin has been the biggest asset to go up 50% since April and hit a new all-time high. We've only seen a 6.8% decline since then, which is more than usual. If you want to know how much XRP costs, let's get it out and take another look. We're still in the 38.2 range, and it might drop to 207 as well. I think I told you about that in my update last night. But the good thing about us getting together in this range is that it makes it clear that we can go even further. This 38.2% is where our strength lies. It will be better when prices go down and won't go through those big drops. You can see that the support we've been building up over the last few months is really paying off. Some people call it a safe coin, but that's their choice. If you can't wait, you might not want to start your own cryptocurrency. It's now in the 38.2 fib zone. When it went down to 213, it seemed like a set amount of support, but we wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin doesn't stay around this level. Things could get very interesting. Yes, you know what's going to happen very soon. A 4.3% move, so I think you should keep a close eye on Bitcoin, especially dominance. If dominance breaks towards a new yearly high and Bitcoin goes below